Hey, it's Lauren Doby from laurendoby.com. I just wanted to share with you today my top 10 packing must-haves for international travel. So, if you didn't know, I do a boatload of traveling, and most of it is out of the country. And just for example, in the last 4 months, I've been to 4 countries. So I was in Mexico, I was in Dominican Republic, I was in Belize, I was in China. And so for me, my packing list has really gotten pro over the years because I'm so used to traveling and being able to just pick up and go. So I wanted to share the list with you in case maybe it would be helpful for you for your next trip, whether that's international or domestic. But some of these things are better for international travel. So number one for me is melatonin, because if I'm going over or anybody's going over different time zones, the melatonin is a supplement that will help you to regulate your sleep cycles. So it helps you to avoid jet lag or to minimize the effects of jet lag, because crossing time zones can be challenging on your body. So, for example, going to China, it was 12 or 13 hours difference. So it's basically night and day. So the melatonin helps me to adjust to that local time and be able to sleep at normal, proper times instead of in the middle of the day, which is what my body would normally have wanted to do because of the time difference. So number two is an electrical outlet converter for charging things. So most countries and most places you're going to visit will have converters that are universal, so that you can plug in your iPhone, you can plug in your MacBook, and the outlet should work in theory. But for me, I always like to travel with an outlet converter so that I can plug my stuff into any country. And I use a universal one that has all these little notches on it. So different countries, and you just kind of like turn the dial and it will fit like in the UK, it will fit in Asia, it fits all over the place, North, South America. And so it's really cool. It's one plug. And yeah, that's like a huge thing for me because I travel with all kinds of electrical devices, and I would imagine you are too, because you're interested in traveling and the freedom lifestyle like I am. So number three, it's kind of three and four, but I use earplugs when I travel and a sleep mask. And so the earplugs and the sleep mask go really well on the plane, but also in the hotels that I'm at, because you never know who is going to be sleeping in the room next to you. Maybe you have a noisy neighbor. Maybe your room's really bright. So those two things combined really make a huge difference in my quality of sleep when I'm traveling. And sleep's a huge deal for me, so I need to get my beauty rest, and those really help to solidify that. I bring essential oils, and that's for a number of reasons. I do it because I take bubble baths just about every night when I'm home, and I also like to take baths when I'm on the road because it makes me feel like I'm at home. It's also for self-care and relaxation. So I bring my favorite essential oils to put in the bathtub, and I also travel with them for first aid. So instead of traveling with a whole bunch of pills that I don't even take when I'm in the US, I travel with the oils so that I can take something to nip a sinus infection or a cold in the bud, or if I've got a headache or I'm feeling some tension, I'm able to just kind of like slather the oils on me and make things better quickly. So always travel with those. Some favorite apps and things that I love. I love to travel. I have to travel with my iPhone. I live and breathe by the iPhone. So on that iPhone, I've got Google Translate as an app that I love, because basically you can type in the word that you're trying to say. You can type in the English word and it will translate it into the foreign word, or you can do the vice versa, and it also will recognize characters and things like that. Or you could say a sentence that you want to say and it will repeat it out loud in the other language. So when I was at restaurants in China, I didn't know how to tell them what I wanted, but I could type it into Google Translate and it would share it in their language, in Mandarin. So it was very cool and something that I totally recommend. I also, it's kind of an obvious no-brainer, my passport. And just a quick tip for you is to make a copy of your passport, leave one with your family or friends, and also take the copy with you just in case something happens and you lose your passport. You'll have a copy of it, so it's easier to replace. Knock on wood, I've never had to actually replace my passport. Nothing's ever happened to it, but in case that happens, I'm prepared. So just for you to try that too and see. I always bring sneakers and workout clothes. I don't always work out as much as I'd like to when I'm traveling, but I'm prepared if I do have a chance to. And it's also a really good reason to get out and be active and explore like the local neighborhoods in comfort. So I can wear the sneakers when I'm walking around the neighborhoods and just be really comfortable. So I also bring a ton of books and magazines, stuff to read on the flight and read in the hotel rooms. And also because a lot of times when you travel to foreign countries, there's nothing good on TV. So if you're home at night or in the hotel at night, you want to watch TV, you might not have anything in your native language and in English, so it can be a little challenging. So I always keep myself prepared, be prepared with the books, the magazines, and even downloading movies and things like that onto my computer, just so I can stay entertained during my trip. I also make sure that I have a TSA lock on my suitcase, because that's really important, because if I do check a bag, I want to make sure that no one can get into my bag and steal anything out of it. The TSA, that's the, who protects, I guess, the transit authority, whatever they are. But transportation security, something or other. Anyway, they can get into it because it's a universal key for them, but just some random person who's working, in the airport, they can't get into your bag. So I like that, because I actually have been broken into in my suitcase before when I traveled to Asia, and they stole sunglasses out of it and different odds and ends. So now I lock up everything. And at least it reduces the risk of someone stealing something out of my suitcase, because I only know the combination, and the TSA can get into it if they needed to get into it for some reason. So that's pretty good. I also bring local currency with me, so I take that out at the airport, so I've got money to travel around with, so I don't have to charge everything on my credit card. Just having cash is good when you're in certain countries, because you never know who's going to take what credit card. I bring moisturizer on the flight, and because the flights can be really dehydrating, especially if you're on there for a long time. Like, for example, my trip to Asia was 15 hours to Tokyo, and then another 4 hours to Shanghai. So really dehydrating on your skin. So it's really nice to have something to replenish and moisturize, so you don't end up landing and being like like a prune. That's my fear. So I always bring moisturizer. Another good one, and it's probably my last, I think it's number 10 actually. This is something I didn't ever wish that I needed to have to bring, but activated charcoal, another supplement that I love, because it soaks up all the bacteria and all the bad stuff that you possibly had ingested, and will help you from getting, traveler's sickness like Montezuma's Revenge, something like that, because it helps you absorb the negative stuff that's inside your gut that maybe you accidentally drank some water that wasn't so clean. That happened to my boyfriend and I when we were in Mexico just a few months ago, and he must have drank something that had something in it that wasn't so clean, and he got sick for 3 days. And had we had the activated charcoal, it would have soaked that up. Also paired with a good probiotic, that would help too. So, check the bottle, talk to your doctor and all that stuff about what quantity you should take, but it's a good one to take with you to foreign countries so that you don't have to go find the doctor like we did when we were in Mexico. So now that's always in my travel bag, and I took it to Belize, and I actually needed it in Belize, and someone else was able to use it because they thought that they were getting food poisoning. So it helped them to go full-blown into food poisoning land. So I hope that you found these packing must-haves useful for you, and I would love for you to share in the comments below, what are some of your travel must-haves? What do you have to travel with that you just absolutely can't leave at home? So I'd love to hear from you. Please share in the comments below. Thanks.